Ringo Starr reveals shocking truth about his vocals and reflects on the Beatles' success. Ringo Starr, the legendary drummer of the Beatles, has always remained a beloved figure in the world of rock music, not only for his skillful drumming but also for his distinctive contributions to the band as a vocalist. However, in a recent exclusive interview with the Sunday Times, Starr revealed a surprising and candid truth about his singing voice. The 84-year-old Beatles icon opened up about his long-held desire to have a different vocal style, which has shocked fans and sparked new conversations about his role in the band. Starr, who is known for his occasional lead vocals on Beatles tracks such as With a Little Help from My Friends and Yellow Submarine, confessed that he always wanted to sound like someone else. He admitted that, despite being an integral part of one of the most influential bands in music history, he wished he had the powerful, flamboyant voice of rock and roll legends like Jerry Lee Lewis. In a rare moment of vulnerability, he told the Sunday Times that his desire to be someone else was deeply rooted in his youth. "Well, I always wanted to be someone else. Like Jerry Lee Lewis, or someone. I mean, I can hold a tune as long as it's in my key," he explained. Ringo's remarks have surprised many, as he has always been a highly respected musician. His drumming was essential to the Beatles' signature sound, and while his vocal contributions were limited compared to the band's primary songwriters, John Lennon and Paul McCartney, they were memorable nonetheless. Tracks like With a Little Help from My Friends and Yellow Submarine became iconic not only for their melodies but also for Ringo's unique voice, which became synonymous with Beatles' whimsy and charm. Despite his contributions to the Beatles' sound, Ringo expressed in the interview that he never quite felt completely satisfied with his singing ability. Ringo's reflection on his role within the Beatles continued as he acknowledged the critical songwriting talent of his bandmates. He pointed to the genius of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison, noting that their ability to craft songs was the foundation of the band's success. "It just worked out with the Beatles because John and Paul were great writers," he said. "That's what made us. And I'd get one song. And a couple of them were really good, with a little help from my friends in Yellow Submarine. They're still huge and I still do them on tour. They wrote me a lot of really nice songs." For Starr, the writing skills of Lennon and McCartney were fundamental to the Beatles' rise to stardom. In the early years of the band, both John and Paul took the lead in writing the majority of the band's material, creating some of the most iconic and influential songs in music history. Despite this, Ringo's contributions should not be understated. As the band's drummer, his presence was crucial in defining the unique sound of the Beatles, and his voice added a distinctive flavor to their catalog, especially on tracks like With a Little Help from My Friends and Yellow Submarine. As the Beatles' drummer, Ringo Starr was also the band's comic relief and emotional anchor, balancing out the intensity of John Lennon's introspective lyrics and Paul McCartney's melodic prowess. He made his mark not only with his drumming but also with his ability to bring a lighter, more whimsical energy to the band's repertoire. Yellow Submarine, for instance, became an anthem for the band's eccentricity and childlike wonder, with Ringo's light-hearted vocal performance standing as one of the band's most endearing moments. In the Sunday Times interview, Starr also reflected on how the Beatles' success was largely a result of their harmonious relationships within the group. Despite their occasional disagreements, Starr explained that everything just worked out between him, Lennon, McCartney, and Harrison. He expressed deep gratitude for the band's camaraderie and the way they were able to complement one another both personally and musically. The collaboration between the four members, each with their unique talents, was an undeniable factor in the band's phenomenal success during the 1960s. Starr's comments about his singing voice reveal a level of self-awareness that not all famous musicians possess. While many fans around the world have admired his musical contributions for decades, Ringo's honesty about his vocal limitations is a refreshing and humbling revelation. It provides a new perspective on his role within the band and sheds light on the immense respect he has for the contributions of his fellow band members. In the interview, Starr also took the opportunity to discuss the legacy of the Beatles, acknowledging the continued popularity of their music decades after their breakup. He expressed his surprise and gratitude for the lasting impact of their songs, saying, "I never really thought about how big these songs would become. They're still huge and I still do them on tour." He cited With a Little Help from My Friends and Yellow Submarine as two of the songs that have remained staples in his live performances, demonstrating the timeless appeal of the Beatles' music. Despite his sometimes humble perspective on his vocal abilities, Starr recognized that these songs were an integral part of the band's enduring success. For Ringo, the Beatles' music continues to resonate with fans around the world, even as he tours and performs solo. His humility and respect for his bandmates' talents reflect his genuine love for the music and the friendships that shaped it. Throughout the interview, he conveyed a sense of appreciation for the unparalleled songwriting abilities of Lennon and McCartney, whose partnership created some of the most celebrated songs in rock history. Beyond his Beatles years, Ringo Starr has built a successful solo career, further solidifying his place in music history. He has released numerous albums and continues to tour with his all-star band, playing hits from both his solo catalog and Beatles songs. While his vocal contributions may have been minimal in comparison to the prolific songwriting of Lennon and McCartney, his significance as a drummer and the band's vocalist remains undeniable. At 84 years old, Ringo Starr continues to influence generations of musicians and fans alike. His legacy as a drummer, singer, and songwriter is cemented as one of the most important figures in music history. His recent interview with the Sunday Times is a testament to his enduring humility and gratitude for the band that changed the course of popular music forever. In conclusion, Ringo Starr's revelations about his vocal insecurities provide a new layer of understanding about his role in the Beatles. While his voice may not have been as prominent as those of his bandmates, it was undeniably an essential part of the band's sound. The Beatles' success was built on the collective talents of John, Paul, George, and Ringo, and their ability to work together as a unit was key to their remarkable achievements. Ringo's honesty about his desire for a different voice only adds to the legend of the Beatles, highlighting the human side of the iconic drummer who remains, to this day, a beloved figure in the world of music.